Is there a process by which our construction community or construction technician community, we call them skill masons, carpenters, is there a skilling and certification process that enables them to be sort of more valuable to society? Is that in? I know we don't have it yet. Is it on the horizon? I'm trying to see if there is a community that is getting built.
Right. So the starting of the National Academy of Construction had exactly this objective in mind, that we will train 12th class graduates or 10th class past students to have competencies which are as a electrician, as a welder, as a fitter, as a bar bender, mason, and so on. They identified some 37 trades or something like that. What happened is that they started giving certificates with the promise that they'll get better salary or assured employment. That didn't happen. That is where the whole thing fell through between the cracks, actually. What we need is today an engineering house which has its people to do this activity. If a generic neutral third party is doing it,
are we talking like a company like L&T that is invested in construction, or are you talking a third party that does this?
So if there are big engineering houses which create, which train skill their own artisans, then even if some of them leave, they will do service, silent corporate social responsibility to build the nation's skill. They will do that. But they will benefit in their direct projects. Also, they would have given away 10% if there's attrition of 10% people going away and doing house work in their own villages and towns, which is likely. If somebody from the northern states are coming to the south of India, getting skilled and finally working for some years, now thinks that I can do the same thing when I go back to my own hometown, excellent. He goes back and works in his own town, but does better quality work.
Sure.
The certificate part is still not sorted out in the country because the pricing has not become differential yet. If I have a certificate, I'll get higher wage. If I don't, I'll get lesser. It's still not sorted
And
out.
that differential pricing, let's say a place like US, is drawn from a certain set of standards and practices.
So they have a techno-legal regime which we don't have. The techno-legal regime says that you have to certify artisans and you have to license engineers. Right? Every engineer has to write an exam every 3 years to continue the authority or the power to be able to design and sign documents and drawings to be sent for construction.
Much like doctors.
Yeah. But Indian doctors only register. They don't have a licensing scheme.
Right.
But in the case of engineers, the difference is that doctors, if they are not having a certain competence, they won't be asked to operate or attend to a certain patient. They will become physicians, general physicians only. Only when they learn new skills, and doctors many a time do that, they go to other countries, learn some additional advanced skills and come back and then do rise themselves in the profession in those tracks. Engineers are not doing that. They're not upgrading themselves on a continual basis. Knowledge is growing very fast. From when I graduated to when we are standing where we are standing today, there's a big change in the need for additional knowledge, additional tools to be used in the process of design. If I don't upgrade myself, then I will only be doing generic services. I'll be the middleman. Somebody will design. I will negotiate with the owner or the constructor to do this, and so I'll do only the middleman's paper management, file management work. I will not do the core essence. The IP, intellectual property, is actually in creating from nothing, using your mind, heart, and soul.
Yeah.
That is the IP that we want in India to be created. So the youth of India should now say, what is it that I have created with my own thinking fresh? And what is the document? I'm not asking rocket science. I'm not asking any major explosive activity. Simple. Have you written down a document of how to design structures, how to design buildings? Have you prepared that? Yes, it will help many engineers do that. First, it will help your own organization.
Sure.
And if there are errors that can be caught there itself, you can better yourself each day passing. That is the need for our engineers, younger engineers today, is that they need to get themselves on paper. They need to learn new things each, I would say 5 years. There must be a quantum jump in your work.
Once this, both the certification and the license approach to professionalizing the practice of engineering comes, then for automatically you'll see these differential salaries.
Salaries will
The
come.
quality of the built environment will see a
Right.
big uptick.
Even as of today, in many municipal bodies, they have a method of registration. You can be registered as an engineer, provided you have certain requirements, depending on the height of the building. If it is 10 meters, 20 meters, 30, 40, 50. 50 above is tall buildings. So to do a tall building, you must have done work for 30 years and you must have done some designs of this type and so on. Some requirements are there. If you don't meet that, then you're not allowed to sign on that, or you're not allowed to submit the drawings. You can't be the main principal engineer for such. You can always assist. So this is already recognized by the engineers that I know more than my boss, but he is signing and I am doing all the hard work. This pain is growing. So eventually it will come out very clearly that the one who will know the subject will be the winner.
So this is a great time to prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think what you just described is the natural progression of any developing country.
Yes.
As like today, I know, I remember in the past, I was okay when a painter came, painted my house without masking tape. Today, I don't think a homeowner would like to see
True.
paint splashed all over.
Right.
So our own aspiration of quality has gone up.
Has
But
gone.
this is a natural next step.
Yes.
So I think our students need to be aware that this is coming and you should prepare yourself mentally. And you said it as best as anyone else can. Ask.
Ask. You have to ask.
Right?
Attitude, skill, and knowledge. If you put it together, you will be competent.
Competent.
So, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Something that we've been hearing from childhood, right? That's exactly what you do. Now, the licensing scheme has not started. Teachers have to get prepared with documents which will help engineers learn what is required at the field first.
Sure.
Then teachers should be able to train existing practicing engineers with that to upgrade themselves. Teachers should also assist governments in creating those examinations, mock examinations right now, before it becomes legal, and let people come in and write that exam, get used to that process. There's also an 8-hour interview process for the very serious taller buildings and bigger structures, 8-hour interview process. So we'll have to go through a lot of ladders here, a lot of steps on the ladder, and we need that hard work to win. So it's a peacetime work. You have to dig deep and like a beaver, go down and then make sure that you have it all sorted out. And when the sun rises, come up.
I'm glad we invoked the nature's best civil engineers, beavers as well,
Beavers.
in this process.
Caltech is a beaver, so.
There you go. That's a nice analogy as well.